Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CS News. I hope you guys all enjoy. And first off, I of course want to thank all of you guys for the great feedback and comments on my last video about the Mcskillet situation. I'm sure I'll have a future video about that as we have closing remarks and official reports that come about that entire tragedy about there. And of course, if you guys are following the esports scene, we did have the shooting in Jacksonville as well. All in all, a pretty crappy weekend. If you guys didn't follow that, there was a Madden event going on in Jacksonville, and one of the competitors there actually got angry and shot two other players there, killing them, and alongside that, injured 11 other people. So all in all for esports, a pretty terrible weekend, and I just want to say thank you guys for the great feedback on my discussion about the Mcskillet situation. And again, I'm sure we'll have more about that coming soon as the police report is filed. So bouncing off that, of course, into actual CSGO news, we're going to try and keep the mood a bit bright here as well. We actually have a big news announced a couple of days ago, and that is, of course, Byali leaving the Virtus Pro roster after the Faceit Major. And this actually comes as a big shock to some, as well as not too much of a surprise to other people out there. Now, we've all seen this Virtus Pro struggle over, you could probably say, over the past year and a half now, and it kind of comes as big surprises because if you guys remember back in 2016, I believe it was late 2016, these guys signed at the time. It's now been confirmed MiBR signed longer and bigger contracts with their new roster, Stewie 2K and Tark being under their wings now. They actually signed the new largest CSGO contracts, but at the time in 2016, it was that Virtus Pro roster, that 5-man roster we will never forget with Taz, Snacks, Byali, Neo, and Pasha. They signed back in 2016 the longest and largest contracts in CSGO history. They were to actually believed to be 4-year contracts at the time, to go from the close to the end of 2016 to, of course, close to the end of 2020. And it's kind of shocking because within 2 years, even just actually short of 2 years, they have now officially lost over half of that roster after signing those huge contracts, which is, it's kind of just stunning to see. So that was a big news out there, guys. It's been confirmed, and Snatchy also knew about this when he joined the Virtus Pro roster, that Byali would be leaving. Now, who's to say what's gonna happen next with, of course, the only two remaining members, Neo and Pasha, on that roster? We actually have Pasha, who's tweeted out before he's going to stay with the sinking ship no matter how far down it goes. So I'm pretty confident when I say that Pasha's going to ride that contract out until 2020. If he's going to retire after that and maybe leave CSGO forever after that 2020 contract expires, that's a whole brand new question, guys. But that was just in very shocking news. Over half the Virtus Pro Original 5, the longest standing roster in CSGO history, will be changed by the end of 2018. And also another news that came out a few days ago that I want to explain and give you guys a TLDR because a lot of people didn't read into the post on the ESEA Matchfixing. They posted a long post about this a few days ago. I'll show you guys the entire post on screen, as well as give you guys a quick, I guess you could say, a sum up, a quick TLDR for all of you guys who don't want to read through that. It's actually accusations. The main two culprits right now are around 2 MDL players on a team known as ROP, or really old people is what that actually stands for. And the 2 players are actually Cardiac and Eppies. As of right now, they've been accused of throwing matches, or kind of actually using family members to bet on their matches and technically throwing the matches as well. Pretty much TLDR there. They had their own family members or extended family actually bet on the games they played, that they then threw those games to, of course, have their family make money, and they tried to string it along to extended family to actually, of course, cover up those bets. But alongside that, more importantly, ESEA also threw in a former caster, as well as a name you guys probably realize in this scene, known as Strong Legs, and accused him of also placing bets on the similar matches. There were actually 2 matches he actually bet on as well, in coincidence with those matches that were allegedly thrown or bet on by those 2 players, Cardiac and Effie. So apparently, because of this coincidence, because he did actually place 2 bets on games they did throw, and alongside that, he placed those bets allegedly, this is actually ESEA wording, within seconds of the players' families making their bets. They actually wrapped him up into this, and that's the only evidence they have. Now, of course, that's a pretty strikingly strong coincidence, but they actually gave him a 1-year ESEA ban as well. He actually took to Twitter to post a long twit longer as well about this, and I honestly believe the guy, based off how he reacted, his whole entire post, TLDR there, pretty much saying he is innocent, although he will agree that what he had did was actually, of course, against obvious rules. He was a former ESEA caster, and him being in the scene itself, he has a lot of inside information. He knows things that other people do not know about these teams, which you could probably argue, is that too much? Is that too much information? But again, he also was working with ESEA at the time before these bets, so there's a lot of conflicts of interest here. He did agree in his post that what he did was probably against the rules now that he thinks about it, and he probably does deserve the ban, but he did not illegally bet on these games. He did not actually ask these guys. He was not involved with them in any way. He didn't know they were going to throw the games. He simply knew certain information on which maps they played best on, which teams were struggling, which teams were doing good, and that's why he made the bets. He did not make the bets because the teams told him they were going to be throwing those games. So that's to clear the air there. Strong Legs pretty much TLDR for all the entire situation, guys. He did admit that what he did was probably wrong because of the knowledge he had inside the scene, but he did not know these guys were going going to throw the matches. So as of right now, Cardiac and Effie's have been given a 1-year ESEA ban, and alongside that, so is Strong Legs. Another thing I'm a bit weary about, because ESEA, of course, we go back in time with all the things they've done wrong in their past. I don't really agree with them here. They really have no evidence, and the only way to actually prove it as well is that's their only evidence. There's a coincidence of bets and times of those bets that actually they are alleging Strong Legs knew about this match throwing. That's their only evidence. There's no log evidence, and again, hopefully this does get cleared up soon. I'm sure they're going to be asking Strong Legs to present information as well, any kind of log that can actually put him to making these bets based off his own knowledge, not off the own team in-game knowledge or insider information. It's a tough situation to be involved in, and even when I do TLDR, it's tough to explain it to all of you. So hopefully, Strong Legs, we're cheering for you, man. This does not seem like an incident where you are guilty, although you do probably deserve the ban for different reasons, though, which he obviously admitted to. So a tough situation, a sticky situation to actually take a side on. And also, I'm going to start talking about results more often. I think this is actually a more notable thing to actually talk about on the CSGO channel. I'm going to talk about recent results and things I actually was impressed by or not impressed by. So if you guys want more of this, please do me a favor, leave a like or a comment down below about this feedback. So of course we have ZOTAC Cup this past weekend finish up. MiBR looking very, very dominant. Now again, there's not too many top tier teams here, but there were a few teams here that actually surprised us, as well as that did not do too well. Virtus.pro being the team that got knocked out very early on, and they just are looking like they're really struggling. Now their coach Cuban came out and said, of course, if you know your team's going to change your rosters, it's really hard to play together, which I do admit is definitely, it's going to have an influence on your team's results, but given the competition at ZOTAC Cup, it's very hard to believe. And of course, going forward as a Virtus.pro fan, what does that make you think about the major coming up when there's going to be a lot harder competition there, and Virtus.pro has a lot harder run there as well to actually make a statement. So going forward, Virtus.pro still looking a bit unimpressive, a bit, I want to say uncombobulated, but I'm not even sure that's a word. They just don't look like they're clicking together, and there's definitely some morals, there's definitely some struggles there connection-wise. But on top of that, we also had Ghost Gaming. Now, why Steel is in the thumbnail, this might be a terrible reason to put my man Steel in the thumbnail, but he actually brought back the sticky note meta, which is pretty cool because you don't really realize how rare this is until it makes the top post of Reddit, and you realize that no other pros are really putting their strats and their callouts on their actual monitor. It also makes you think about, now again, I'm probably digging way too deep into this, but I saw a point out there as well, will majors, I guess Steel won't have a problem with major, I shouldn't have said that, but will tournament organizers maybe forbid this in the future? Now you might say, Jake, that's stupid. Why would they actually forbid this? Well, they forbid stupid things at tournaments before. Remember the big old controversy around Taco wearing his beanie over his head? Now I think there was a reason as to why. I can't think of it for some reason as of right now, but when it comes to mind, I can't think of any real good reason to have someone not wear a hat. But I think maybe to make sure he was actually wearing his soundproof earbuds underneath his headphones might have been the main reason behind that. But still, they've actually done this in the past where they've actually had these very, very minor rules on things that really wouldn't have too much of an impact. So I would not be surprised in the future to maybe have tournament organizers say you cannot write things on your screen. Everything has to be verbally distributed, not actually written out, which again, maybe not going to happen, but still, more importantly, why Steel is actually there, guys, because Ghost Gaming looked very good against Optic Gaming, and they actually beat them in a best of 3, and map 3, I believe, was 16-3 was a score, 16-2, it was crazy. They looked very, very strong, although they actually eventually lost in the tournament. Again, they looked very cool, very calm and collected. Wardell went off in that match as well, I believe like 24 frags in the first half of one of those maps. The team was amazing to see. Most importantly as well, MiBR looking very dominant. Like I said before, not too many great teams there, but throughout playoffs, they don't drop a single map. They 2-0 sweep Flash Gaming, 16-1, 16-3. They also then go on to sweep MVP PK, which again, debatable how good they are, but most importantly and most impressively in the finals against Kingwin and Taz, they 3-0 sweep them in a best of 5. So MiBR finally clicking, guys. This is definitely a great high for them to be coming off of, and I cannot wait to see how they do in the next tournament. Now also, we had some IEM Chicago qualifiers going on, which I thought, unfortunately enough, guys, MiBR looking very good, looking like they're finally clicking, and I do appreciate that. I wish I could say the same for Cloud9, though. They look very unimpressive, very not clicky against EUnited in a best of 5 for the qualifiers for IEM Chicago. If you guys would have told me a few months ago, or even 6 months ago, after coming off a major victory, that Cloud9 would lose in a best of 5 to EUnited, I would call you an idiot. But it seems now that's actually the level that Cloud9 is on, a best of 5. Of course, going to a best of 5, you think the best team is going to win there, and so a team like EUnited, who obviously had a chance at the minor, they were alongside NRG, two of the teams there that kind of semi-choked but had great shots to actually make the major qualifier itself. So definitely towards the top of the American teams out there, but just not in comparison when you think historically speaking with a team like Cloud9. So seeing them lose to EUnited in a best of 5 was quite shocking news. So for all you Cloud9 fans, for all you Virtus.pro fans out there, I am definitely worried for the major, but I cannot be more excited as well, because bouncing into our next story as well, of course, the major qualifier, the challenger stage, will start next Wednesday, just over 7 days away, guys, and we still have no stickers, but I do want to give you guys some inside information. I have confirmed from an inside source. Now, who knows if they're lying to me, but it's definitely a higher up source out there. They have told me that we will get stickers, guys, before the major, but on top of that, we will get something else very special along with stickers. I can't tell you guys what that is, but we will have stickers, and something with stickers is what I've been told. If they're lying to me, we're going to find out soon. And also, very last for you guys as well, I have two more stories for you guys. Of course, the first of which is a rumor out there that we did hear initially about Team Vitality, the French organization, to sign that new French super team, MBK, Apex, Happy, RPK, plus a fifth member who's probably going to be ZywOo. Apparently, rumors right now do point towards the end of August. August 31st will be the signing date. Of course, we're going to find out in a few days here if that's actually the true date, but look forward to that, guys. If they are to be signed by a French organization in this month, it will likely be Team Vitality, and if not, well, I guess we're gonna see what happens and who signs those guys in the future. I was actually talking to a fan and a viewer, a friend of mine out there. I don't know what to call you guys sometimes. We had a back and forth discussion about this as well. And what do you guys think about this? Because if a team is going to sign, let's say Vitality does sign these guys, and of course you have MBK and Apex costing allegedly anywhere from $500,000 to $800,000 each, why would a team really buy them out? Now, as of right now, we actually have our next major planned for early in 2019, which could be February, it could be March, and the rumor going around right now is apparently MBK and Apex's their actual contracts do not expire until early 2019. So that could be the reason why a team would have to buy them out, to actually give them time to practice with their team before the next major. And then again, we also thought about this, and maybe I'll talk about this more in the future. Even if an organization does buy this new French roster and pays the immense millions and millions to actually acquire them, think about this. They have no majority, they have no major spot. They have to re-qualify out of the European scene. Not even arguably, it is by far and away the hardest qualifier to come out of, with such extensive competition in that qualifier every single major. It's going to be crazy to see if these guys even do come together. What if they fail to make the major? Would it be a failed team? It'll be an expensive team no matter what. So that's just in shocking news. Now, very lastly as well, for all of you guys, again, thank you guys for all the support so far. Thanks to my sponsor, Free.gg, for all of you guys who use their services. And also, very lastly in our story today, I do briefly want to talk about, of course, ESL Counter-Strike's account. If you guys did hear about, I talked about in the intro to today's video, we had the Jacksonville shooting. Obviously an event you don't want to make light of, you don't want to make jokes at any point in time. And right after ESL's main account actually announced their condolences, their apologies, their sorrows for any of the families involved, ESLCS, the Counter-Strike account for ESL, replied with this, which is a kill sound effect. Obviously not funny at all. Most people thought it was a rogue employee or a rogue social media guy that apparently posted that as a joke. ESL has come forward and said, and I think it's pretty much confirmed as well, people had a hard time believing this, but it's been pretty much confirmed the account was hijacked, and that's why it was a sick joke made. It was not actually someone who worked for ESL, as far as we know right now, and hopefully we'll know more details in the future. And if they do find out who it is, if they did work for ESL, obviously going to be fired with extensive repercussions. So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of CSGO News. If you guys did, leave a like or comment down below. My name is Jake. I will see y'all next time, and hopefully by the next time I see you guys, we'll have Faceit Major stickers along with something else. See you guys.